With us now, a great honor to have the former chairman and CEO of General Electric, Jack Welch, and best-selling author and business journalist, Susie Welch. They are co-authors of the new book, The Real Life MBA, Your No BS Guide to Winning the Game, Building a Team, and Growing Your Career. And it, Mark Halperin, is #1, and we're shallow enough to say we judge books by their covers, and this is a great
Not
cover.
just #1, but #1 with a bullet.
#1 with a bullet.
Don't be laughed at if you haven't bought yours yet.
Yeah, well. So I want to get to this in 1 second, Jack, but it was up in New Hampshire this past weekend, and boy, I tell you what, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, there were a lot of weak candidates. This year, it looks like the field's stacked.
Yeah, it's an army of good guys, but this is a nonpartisan book.
I know. So, like I said, we're going to get to the book, but I just wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite yet?
Well, I'm waiting for the debates, if you will, but I'm leaning. I like what Ted Cruz has to say.
Yeah. Take no prisoners approach. Let's talk about the book now.
Yeah.
And you and Susie go through all of your experiences working together, what you've learned, what you've been talking when you've been talking to businesses. How do you build a company? How do you make that company successful? How do you stay ahead of the curve?
Well, the whole book is about these times. We've talked to 1 million people in the last 10 years around the world. We're dealing with all these private equity companies. We've got a school, the Jack Welch Management Institute, with 900 students, growing 40% a year, and we're talking to them every day. So we got a feel for what's on people's mind today.
What's on people's minds?
Slow growth. Go ahead.
No more fun. The fun has left work, the grind has come into work, and that the sort of idea that business is a game and that you get out there every day and you play, that was so much before 2008, that's pretty much gone. And so when we've been going around, we've been sad to see, really, that work and business, which we think is such a great force for good in the world and for humanity, is not as fun as it used to be.
What's caused the change?
The recession caused the change.
No growth.
No growth.
Yeah.
The growth has been sucked out of the global economy, and what we have to do, as we point out in this book, is get employees engaged, focus on growth, and we got ways to do that. Now, the issue is engagement of employees is at record lows.
Yeah.
Gallup does a poll every month. Since 2008, 35% of the employees are engaged at work. Can you believe going to a game, football team with 65% of your team and staying on the sidelines?
Why is that?
People are so focused on grinding it out, doing more with less, not seeing the pie, their piece of the same pie, not growing the pie, not exciting employees.
Is this part of a problem over the past 30, 40 years where you've had companies that go public, they try to squeeze every dime out of it, they try to sell it, they try to make the quick kill, and there's not as much of an investment in the long run?
No, I don't think so at all. I think this is a problem of the 2008 recession. This thing was huge. It changed the psychology of people. They don't know what happens, where they're going in their career. Some of them feel stuck. They're mad. They don't like their boss. There's all these things, and we're dealing with this in this book.
But shouldn't there be, I mean, there's not as much of a buy-in, Susie, as there's been in the past.
Right.
And there has to be more than just the recession causing that.
There's a certain cynicism about, the man and, and I think also the rise of entrepreneurism and this idea that you can go start your own company and you can become a billionaire doing it, even though glancingly few people who become entrepreneurs actually become billionaires. There is this romantic notion about the entrepreneurial experience, and so that's also made people feel less engaged with the big companies or even companies of 100, 200 people. And so you want to be able to change that, though. That's not the way it should be, since we all spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week working.
Yesterday, up in Connecticut, our church got a new minister.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept telling them, they waited for 2 years, and I said, keep waiting, because whether you're running a church or whether you're running a corporation or whether you're running a country, you can have the best facilities in the world. You can have the best people in the world. But if you have a weak leader, it dies. What do we learn from the guy who's considered the greatest CEO in the past 50 years? What do we learn in this book, and what do we learn in your course about what makes a great leader. What's the
We
difference?
have spent so much time thinking and talking about leadership in this country. If you Google leadership, it's 4 trillion things. And actually, for the book, we really wanted to pull a lot of that away and talk about what really is leadership. And Jack came up with this idea that it boils down to these 2 different dynamics at the same time.
Truth and trust. If you get an organization where truth is the focus, not spin, not everybody coming in and making their own case, and you get truth, you really get speed, you get people comfortable, a lot of things happen.
A leader that can say, hey, I screwed up.
I screwed up.
Let's do this again.
Let's do it right.
Give me a makeover.
Yeah.
Right.
But to do that, you got to have trust.
Final question. You've been out there for a decade working together around the country, seeing thousands of great leaders. I'm going to ask an uncomfortable question. I'm going to ask each of you. Give me a leader. Give me somebody that somebody starting in business should look at and try to emulate. Who have you seen out there that you're like, wow?
There's so many. I love Jeff Bezos. I think he's so courageous. I think he is so honest. He's done it his way. He has a strong strategy. I think he's awesome.
Jack?
Kevin Plank, love him. He says, Nike's my target. I'm going to go get him. And every one of you guys, I want you on the trade with me. We're going after it.
Mark Halperin?
I'd go with Scarborough.
There you go.
Yeah, way to
Very
go.
good.
Oh, damn it, we
Truth and
blew it.
trust.
I know.
Tender yet tough.
Truth and trust. Joe
Truth and
Scarborough.
trust. Yeah. I was actually asking you to ask a final question.
Oh, I can
but,
ask a
you know,
final question.
No, that's
Chapter
okay.
10, geniuses, tramps, and thieves. What are tramps and
think the
thieves?
answer-
Say that.
The geniuses are the employees whose work you don't understand, the coders, the finance experts. Tramps are the people who do not work within your eyesight. They're the people working remotely. And thieves, those are the people and the dynamics in your organization that spread fear, because fear is the biggest thief in business today.
All right. Well, this is exciting. We thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Thanks,
you.
guys.
A great honor. The book is The Real Life MBA. Jack and Susie Welch, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We shall return.